Tell us more about your workflow as far as inside Sequoia. As far as, have you done anything to customize the interface or anything to change it to your needs?
Well, right now, actually, I just reinstalled it yesterday because I rebuilt the computer. But normally, I've got the toolbars set up, just only the ones I need. There's a 4-point editing in Sequoia, much like the old Sonic Solutions system. Which I used for a while. It definitely has its advantages, but in the end I stopped using it, so I was able just to easily get rid of the those toolbars. The great thing about Sequoia is you can assign anything to anything. You can rearrange key commands. You can what do they call them? Shortcuts.
Shortcuts.
You can do shortcuts. You can just get it right in there and change a shortcut. And so I had something set up for markers and different zoom levels set up, but I can't even remember what they were set up to now, and I'm sure I just erased everything. But
no backup.
It's all in my head. No, because I forgot to back up the Sequoia folder. But it's all in my head. I just have the next time I go and just unconsciously go to zoom in, and it doesn't zoom in. I'm like, oh, okay.
Exactly.
My Control 4 is supposed to zoom in, so I'll have to reassign that. Built-in dithering is pretty great because it's again it does it only when you write the disk.
Absolutely.
And you can push a button and basically preview the way it's going to sound 16-bit dithered as you play back just by I forget what it is. It's basically in the force 16-bit resolution for output.
Correct. In system options.
Yeah, it's great. And then when you're playing it back, you're hearing what it's going to basically sound like on the CD, which is pretty awesome, actually.
Do you deliver a lot of stuff in DDP format, or are you still?
I try to. A lot of people just don't know what DDP is,
right.
So I'm kind of afraid about that. I try to sort of educate them, and a lot of the plants will reject DDP for some reason. They're just lazy when it comes down to it. They can all accept DDP, but it's more the sales reps who don't know anything about DDP.
Right.
They're confused by it, sort of scared by it, and then encourage the client not to do it. And I've heard tons of excuses. Oh, the quality isn't as good if you do it that way.
Well, the quality is exact.
Quality is exact. In fact, it's really exactly the same. The only advantage to it is I know what I give the client is exactly what the manufacturer is going to get. If I give them a CDR, they may rip it, re-edit, and hand them whatever.
Right.
So this way I know it's just more of a guarantee they're going to get it. But so many places just don't accept it. So I rarely do it. The major labels, all ask for it. However, as we all know, major label business is far and few.
Down slightly in the past few years.
Yeah, it's probably far more down in the U.S. than in Canada, but we never had much to begin with. So,
right.
I still do a few major label albums a year, but that's probably down from 10 a year. So,
right,
not.
Once you've recaptured everything into your second version of Sequoia.
Mm-hmm.
When a client comes back for revision, does that mean you need to go back, if they're looking for something completely different, do you need to literally go back to the first one and run through the analog gear and
two
stuff?
sides to that. Generally, if they want something completely different,
mm-hmm.
which is rare,
right?
I would have to remaster it,
right?
But most of the time, if they're like it's too much bass or too much top end, there's frankly I'll use the Sequoia EQ. I think it sounds great, mm-hmm. and has tons of headroom. I don't know what they're doing in there, but if I'm running full scale audio, I can still EQ, and it sounds awesome. Like it's I can especially the shelvings. Like I find sometimes people are a little bit too much bass.
Right.
Put 1 dB at 100 hertz of shelving at full scale.
Right.
So it's pretty, at full scale, since it's maxed out, if I'm doing a 1 dB cut, that's quite a noticeable difference. And the Sequoia EQ is really transparent, it's like, I I understand there's a new EQ on the newest version.
Yeah, version 11 has an expanded version.
Right, but is it still? Is it like more like a plug-in based kind of like if they're like? Is it built into the object editor, or is it?
No. It's actually will work like any other VST that you load.
See, I like the EQ that's built right into the object editor. It's just so easy.
Absolutely.
You just click at it, and it's there.
Right.
You know, and it's like it's you don't have to worry about it in the plugins and that kind of stuff, and it sounds really good. Whatever they did with it, it sounds awesome. You know, I mean. If I had to, I could probably master a whole album with it, but
Absolutely.
I just I don't like that's not as much fun.
Actually, what else? Anything else you'd like to talk about? In this?
Well, in Sequoia, there's a really good crossfade editor, which is if you're trying to do any sort of normally I'll do crossfade sort of manually. I'll put if I'm doing a crossfade, I'll put a track. I'll just use two tracks and put the top one and the bottom one, and then just blend them in any way I want. But if it's a rather sort of flowing, complicated crossfade, the crossfade editor offers so many options and so many things you can do, and you can really just get right in there and adjust things. And then if you don't have to make adjustments, it's super easy to go in at any time and just make an adjustment to that crossfade via an editor. It's a whole different screen for the crossfade editor, so it's rather unique, although I haven't used many other softwares, but I haven't seen anything quite like it in any other software. I know.
I believe it was Sonic. They had something close to it.
Yes.
A lot of guys who've come from Sonic and then worked with our crossfade editor have instantly said, "I was right at home with this, but this does even a notch more. It's fantastic."
Right. There's a million things in Sequoia which is amazing. I mean. That's why I use it. I don't use a lot of features though, and it's like, but I mean, the whole CD burning dialogue is great. The object editor in itself is amazing. Right. Like the fact that you can like cut a song up into like 5 pieces, and they each have their own mixer basically.
Right.
Is pretty amazing. Like having to like insert a plug-in on every single cut in order to make a change, or even in some software, put it on a different track to make a different change. I mean,
or lots of automation moves.
You can do, you can do whatever you want. And the ability to handle different sample rates, different bit rates, all in the same session is great. Mm-hmm. You can easily load, like, I can load for my source thing. I don't even have to open up different copies of my VIP. I can put in all different sample rates, and then just when I get to the song, just change the clock. That's all I have to do. I don't have to even do anything else. I don't have to change the playback. As long as if it's clocked externally, I just change my external clock and play it back at the right sample rate. I just have to make sure I remember to do it. Otherwise, and I've done it before. I played at the wrong sample rate, and especially if it's between 44 and 48, sometimes you just you won't get it. So.
And you think to yourself, wow, this guy has a really high-pitched voice. Exactly. Well, great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us about Sequoia.
Cool.
All right, thanks.
To this